Welcome back to Open Line. Our topic tonight is women in the workforce. Two guests tonight, Shauna Hewley from Think Tennessee and Laura Ward from the Nashville Chamber of Commerce. We thank both of you for being with us tonight and giving us all this information. It's so funny, we were talking like, I don't have kids, so I have to put that out there, but I have so many girlfriends who do, and what I hear from them over and over again is just their frustrations with not getting enough maternity leave, feeling rushed coming back to work, and then once they're back at work, being able to find childcare. And I mean, these are just situations that so many women have to juggle, and it really can take a toll not only on their work but their families.
Yeah, and so many of these policy solutions, right, paid family and medical leave, one of the things that they really do is allow women when they go to work just to focus on work, because you know that you're not worrying about your sick child who you sort of had to give Tylenol and send to school. Not that I've ever done that. But you know, a sick child who really, if you had affordable, high quality child care, wouldn't have gone to school that day. Or you know, even if paid family medical leave, it doesn't just cover your kids. If you've got a sick relative at home, or if you are sick yourself, just to be able to take that paid leave and know your family won't take a financial hit, that really keeps all of your employees safe, because nobody wants that person with the flu coming to work.
Absolutely. I mean, so that's the perfect world. That's what we want to see ultimately. How can we get to that point, right? I mean, that's going to take a while, a lot of effort to move that direction. But there are things happening in Tennessee that are, as you said, kind of moving the right direction.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And whether that's our cities innovating or grassroots leaders and chambers innovating because they recognize that it's really about workforce recruitment and retention.
Given our state's strong economy, now's a great time for those employers to be really thinking about, how do I attract and retain that high quality workforce, and what are the things that I need to provide as an employer, whether that's paid family medical or reasonable pregnancy accommodations, that benefits their bottom line as much as it does those employees. And that's why we saw when Kentucky recently passed reasonable pregnancy accommodations, it was the Louisville Chamber that really led the way on that, because they saw it as a workforce retention issue.
And you guys are leading the way in many of these aspects of the Nashville Chamber. And so talk a little more about what you guys are doing at the local level to try to, again, make some changes and some positive changes here.
Well, I think a lot of what we're doing is trying to connect employers to the issue. And so employers are having trouble filling job openings, and there are ways to recruit and retain people that are going to fill them. But it requires a different type of recruitment. It requires different kinds of policies to retain people, and a lot of those become employee-centered. You know, when you sell, right now, you know, you can sell a house and it's a seller's market or a buyer's market. Right now it's an employee's market in many ways, because we have openings that need to be filled, and many of those require a post-secondary credential, not a 4-year degree, but at least something after high school. And so if we can begin to talk about careers in terms of careers and not in terms of a job, but if you enter the health and patient care career pathway, these are the 10 careers you can look at, and here's how you get there. And it starts with a 3-month credential. And so it doesn't become that, you know, that 10 years of school, but in 6 months we can connect you to a good paying job, and then you can continue to stack and build upon that.
And Nashville's just booming. I mean, how many companies are moving here, moving their corporate headquarters here? We got Amazon, we got all these big companies coming in. There are opportunities. It's just a matter of connecting the people to those opportunities, and hopefully the employers making good decisions, I guess.
Well, and allowing people to discover their aptitudes, I think, is really important. When you grow up in one neighborhood and you don't leave that neighborhood, you don't know what's out there. And so being able to take an assessment like UScience or any of the others that are given that say you have an aptitude in information technology, here are your options. Imagine what that looks like to someone who didn't have any options yesterday. So I really think part of it is just connecting people to the potential, and then connecting them to what they need to get there. And that's the grassroots part of it, that we are really trying to impact on the ground. And then also that employer piece, connecting them to the workforce that is not engaged right now. We have a lot of people who are on the sidelines in Nashville. We know this from the data that Shauna shared. And how do we connect those folks to the idea of going back to school and entering a career pathway?
And you guys have done so much research on this at Think Tennessee, and I just think it's really, I don't know, interesting and surprising to read about how women in Tennessee are worse off economically than in other states. I think that would be surprising to a lot of people to hear that.
Yeah, and you know, one of the taglines of our organization that you won't find any place on our website is our state deserves nice things too, right?
Fair enough, right? I think we can all get on board with that. Yeah.
And if you don't know that, then you don't really know who Tennessee is, right? And so part of our work is just to fight for, you know, advocate for those things that will help our families the same way that families in other states get to benefit.
And you guys have done, again, so much with just the breakdown of women in poverty. There's a lot of racial issues here as well that play into this. And it's just, I don't know, I just think a lot of these statistics are surprising. People may not realize the extent of what's going on in their own community.
Right, and you mentioned the sort of the racial statistics, and it's true, you know, women of color feel, these stats are much higher for families headed by women of color. So we know when we're looking at just working women without economic security in Tennessee, is 26% of white women are working and don't have economic security, 54%. So really that's twice the rate among Hispanic women in Tennessee and 46% among black women. So there absolutely is a racial component to these disparities too.
Wow. Okay, lots to think about there. Well, we're going to take another quick break and we'll be back with more Open Line after this. Please stay with us.